So you finally made it to Fountainhead Palace. While it's beautiful, it's also filled with bullshit. You got some crazy guy in a tree over here kicking lightning balls at you. You got a bunch of these Okami warriors hopping all over the place and hitting you. You got a bull around the corner that even when you deflect it, it does damage. It's a lot of bullshit for making it this far. You're asking yourself, do I really want to deal with it? And the answer, my friend, is yes. You've come this far, and there's no reason to stop now. Welcome to the Get Good Guide for Sekiro Mini-Bosses, Part 5, the final part. If you made it past the True Monk and got access to the Dragon Tally board, it's now time to go back and tackle the Headless. As I mentioned previously, the reason for waiting that long to fight these guys is once you have the Dragon Tally board, you can freely buy Divine Confetti from merchants, and that's where you're going to need to get damage into the Headless. Now, a couple things to watch out for here. The Headless will create an aura that you will be unable to dodge while it's out. Similar to the Shichiman warrior fight, where you attack him and you eventually break his aura that's creating the orbs, you can break the Headless aura that's creating this anti-slow. Aside from that, he can also disappear and reappear behind you and do a perilous grab attack that will basically one-shot you. And on top of that, he's actually fairly difficult to deflect because his attacks have very odd timing and they're very slow. The main way to fight the Headless, of course, is going to be Divine Confetti and Pacifying Agents. Despite that, there's a couple other tricks you can use to your advantage. The first being Malcontent. If you've gone all the way up the upgrade tree and gotten access to Malcontent, you can use this to stun Headless 3 times during the fight, and during those windows you should be able to attack it enough to remove its anti-slow aura. You also have Lazulite Sacred Flame. Made it all the way to Fountainhead, you can now get access to Lazulite, and you can use this to both damage the Headless and enchant your blade if you have Living Force for a buff that's similar to Divine Confetti. The last thing we have is Phoenix's Lilac Umbrella. Similar to the Shichiman warrior, you can use this to block all the damage he has coming out at you. However, be aware that if you use the umbrella and then use projected force, that will actually consume any enchantment you have on your blade. Basically, if you're fighting him with Divine Confetti, doing that follow-up attack will get rid of your buff. Regardless, let's jump into this and take this guy down. So we're going to pop our Pacifying Agent, we're going to pop our Divine Confetti, we're going to pop Anko's Sugar. Now, Malcontent is the best way to fight these enemies in my opinion, because you can blow Malcontent, stun them, and then get in a considerable amount of damage while they're locked into the stun. Once Malcontent wears off, redo it, get more damage in. As you can see, that dispersal right there, that was us removing the Headless's aura that's stopping us from being able to dodge. We can now freely dodge. Number one thing to keep your eye on here is going to be your terror buildup. Anytime your terror starts to build up, make sure to use Pacifying Agents. Anytime he disappears and then reappears, make sure to jump away. The hardest part about the Headless fight, as I mentioned, is just that you lose your ability to dodge. You want to try and keep your health up, but at the same time, you can't really do much to these guys. He does his hair thing, just hop away. Very similar to a Dark Souls boss, except you're just hopping instead of dodging. We're going to come over here and re-enchant. We're actually going to switch over to the Lilac Umbrella at this point, and we're not going to be doing the follow-up attack, but we can use that to just tank all of his attacks. Disappears, make sure to jump away. There he is behind us. And you can use the Umbrella follow-up attack to kill him, very similar to Shichiman Warrior. As you saw right there. But overall, it's a lot easier using a combination of Divine Confetti along with the Pacifying Agent. So, like I said, there's no reason that you have to tackle these guys early in the game. Between the 5 different Headless, you will gain access to Akko's Spiritfall, Ungo's Spiritfall, Goken's Spiritfall, Gachin's Spiritfall, and Yashiriku's Spiritfall, which are just reusable versions of the 5 candies we have, except they just cost Spirit Emblems. So because of that, I would suggest just waiting till the end of the game, killing them all, and getting your Spiritfalls at that point. Next up, we have the Sakura Bowl of the Palace. And before we fight him, there's a couple enemies we're going to want to dispatch. Kill this Okami warrior, and then there's 2 archers we're going to take out as well. Now you can actually use Puppeteer on the 2 archers, and they'll help in the bullfight, but it's fairly inconsistent. You may see as much as half the bull's health taken out by the archers. You may see, not even an eighth, which is why I didn't want to recommend it here. But what we're going to be doing here is a strategy focused on deflecting the head, and then focusing damage on it to build up the bull's posture, while utilizing this tree point to dodge back and forth. To that extent, you're going to want firecrackers and an Akko's Sugar. Just chill here for a second. You can hear the bull pathing around. And right around the time when it gets to here, we're going to jump and get a death blow on it. Take a little bit of time to recover after getting bucked off the bull. So once you can, jump and rope on across. Once the bull's in an animation, do your Akko Sugar. Now we're going to use this to go back and forth so that the bull will keep charging at us. I'm going to get roughly 3 or 4 hits in before you back away. After that, the bull's going to attack. And you'll notice even with perfect deflects, we are still taking damage here. Because the bull is enchanted, it's like fighting something with divine confetti. Number one cause of death in this fight is greed. Wait for the bull to charge us and get up another Akko Sugar, but we'll rope out first. Once the bull goes into his enrage, back up. Wait for it to charge again. Once it gets nice and low like this, you can actually pretty much just finish it off with firecrackers. One firecracker, a couple hits. And just walk on up and get your death blow. So as I mentioned, if you're really struggling here, of course you can use the Okami archers to help. You can also do the same strategy where you just use firecrackers and chase its legs around. But with a little bit of timing practice, I find that deflecting and then focusing on the head is a much easier strategy overall. So you made it all the way up to the top, and now it's time to take care of this asshole that's been kicking lightning bolts at you. This fight's actually pretty easy. There's 2 things you're going to want. Some eel liver, just in the event that you get hit with lightning. And on top of that, you should have purchased anti-air death blow. Use the anti-air death blow to instantly kill this enemy, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Jump across. Run towards him. You can see he'll do these crazy attacks, and that's fine. Just jump up, hit R1. That's it. Not even kidding. Make it all the way over here, jump up, hit R1, he dies. Alternatively, if you're really struggling, you can of course use the Sabi Maru as well, as it dunks all over Okami warriors, but if you have anti-air death blow, this fight shouldn't take more than a couple seconds. Next up, we have Ashina Leap Ujinari. While this enemy in particular will feel very intimidating because if you whiff an attack, you're just about dead, you can take him out with the same strategies we used against the previous Ashina Leap. Poison him with Sabi Maru, and then time your deflect for when you see the hilt of the blade flash. I would also recommend using a Gakken Sugar here, because if you do get hit, you're going to take a buttload of posture damage, so this will help things out. Right on up, Sabi Maru, and just look for the deflects. He also has a perilous sweep, which we can high monk if he does it, but otherwise, all about just hitting those deflects. Stands up, make sure to poison him again. As long as you maintain this like short meter distance, he should keep spamming that one attack. If you need to heal, back all the way on up. Other than that, just like before, this fight is all about timing your deflects to take them on out. Next up, we have Shigekechi the Red Guard. This is basically another drunkard fight, except he breathes fire and he's armored. As for the armor, pull on out a spear so you can yank it off, and aside from that, this is actually probably one of the easiest drunkard fights. So you'll notice a couple enemies up there pathing, and we need to take them out before this fight. So you want to run past the drunkard, get over to this idol, and then you're going to rest. Now this is going to be a bit of a mini timed run, if you will, because we need to make sure we kill them before they get up there. So after resting, jump up top, target on, and get your death blow. Coincidentally, this is actually the best farming run in the game. You get upgrade mats, you can get a buttload of gold, you get good experience. This is where I farmed up my XP to get all the skills in the game. This little loop you see me doing right now. Just running up and kill this one. If this one aggroes, that's fine. Get a couple attacks in, and then send throw. That'll pretty much finish off his posture, as you saw. And if you killed them before they reach the stairs, you're doing good. Hop on up, then crouch and wait right here. This guy won't come in. He'll just hang out there and turn around, and when he does, we're going to death blow him. And then switch to a shuriken. Shuriken is just going to be a little bit better than using your send throw here. Take that enemy out. Now, you've pretty much cleared the way to fight this guy. There is another red guard over there up in the reeds, and there's a gunner over there, but they shouldn't get involved in this fight, and if you have to, you can always retreat backwards. Go on and get in position. In particular, I like popping an Akko's Sugar, as always. Jump and death blow. As soon as the death blow is done, hit him with the spear twice. In and out. In and out. And his armor's gone, his posture is nice and high, and now it's just a matter of, you know, standard Drunkard 101. Just attack him a couple times. Mark behind him and heal if you need to. The yanking off his armor is the key to this fight. Too many people struggle with this guy because they don't pull off the armor. As long as you take the armor off, it's, you know, like I said, probably one of the easiest Drunkard encounters in the game. Really thought I could just, you know, circle dodge behind that. As you saw, without any armor, Shigekechi drops like a fat old sack of bricks. And our final mini-boss is 7 Ashina Spears Shumei. Now this may seem like a super intimidating fight at first because you have both the 7 spears and a general, but we're going to do a couple tricks to turn this into a one-on-one fight and open with the death blow. Start, pop a Gotchin Sugar or a Gotchin Spirit Fall. Crouch and walk on up, and you're going to want to death blow and kill the general. Now I know a couple of you are probably going to say, oh well, I used Puppeteer on the general, and it was great. Don't use Puppeteer on the general. Very similar to killing the purple bro in the Vile Hand fight. You're going to kill the general, and you're going to reset. Now the reason for this is you could use Puppeteer, but I can tell you right now, 7 Spears is going to beat the piss out of that general. Doing this, you're going to 100% get a death blow every single time, and turn it into a one-on-one fight where you're buffed and he is already missing a health bar. Same with the Vile Hand encounter. Immediately use your Gotchins as soon as you spawn in. Now just hang out for a second. He's going to look at the general's body, but he's not actually going to do anything. He's going to look at it, and then eventually he's going to go, oh, I guess there's nothing here. And he's going to turn back around. Once he does, walk on up to this guy from behind, attack him once, attack him again, and get Bestowal. After you get Bestowal, switch to an Akko's Sugar, walk on up, and open with the death blow. After that, you already know the drill. And that is how you make a Makara. That is how you make a mockery of the 7 Ashina Spears. And with 7 spears down, as long as you've been going around and collecting prayer beads from the other mini-bosses and getting the prayer beads that are hidden throughout the world, you should now have enough to have a nice, big, fat old health bar like I do. So thanks for coming on by. Hope you guys enjoyed the Get Good mini-boss series, and we'll catch you next time.